Apple went and did it again. They snuck new MacBooks out into the world just like that. Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech so honest that it hurts. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back again. Today, I want to talk about new MacBook Pros. I know most of you are saying, well, but Jason, you said you weren't going to use Macs anymore. Well, there's a long story there for another video, but what I do want to talk about are these new MacBook Pros. I have a couple of questions about them that I want to consider, and then maybe some general thoughts about whether or not you should purchase one. The new MacBook Pros, we've got a 13-inch touch bar, 2.4 gigahertz quad-core i5, $17.99. We've got the same chip, 512 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes of RAM, $19.99. The non-touch bar 13-inch MacBook Pros are still just like they were before and are becoming less and less of a good deal the longer they go without any new chips or anything in them. Over on the 15-inch side, we've got a touch bar with 2.6 gigahertz, 6-core processor, turbo boost up to 4.5. That's an i7 chip. It comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. You can bump that up to a 2.4 gigahertz, 8-core, 9th generation Intel Core i9 processor that turbo boosts up to 5 gigahertz. In the graphics department, you can get the Radeon 555 with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory, or you can bump it up to the 560X, which I don't think was an option before, and that has 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 as well. You can get as much storage as you want to pay for, but it's a lot. It's a lot to pay for. Where it gets really interesting is the 15-inch that costs $27.99 to start. It's got a 2.3 gigahertz, 8-core processor. That's an i9 that turbo boosts up to 4.8 gigahertz, and it comes with 512 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of 2400 megahertz DDR4 memory. But where this one gets really interesting is the option first to go up to the 2.4 8-core 9th generation i9 processor for an extra $200. And to add you can add 32 gigabytes of RAM, and you can go all the way up to the Radeon Pro Vega 20 with 4 gigabytes of HBM2 memory. Those were all options there. So why is this a big deal? Why is this a big deal? Well, this is the first time we've ever seen anything like an 8-core chip on a MacBook. In fact, I think this is the first time I've seen a production laptop with an 8-core processor. While the chips are different, the iMac Pro starts base model at an 8-core chip. It's not the same thing, but 8 cores is something that you don't expect to see all the time. So Apple has gotten that chip, and they've put it in this 15-inch MacBook Pro. They claim with the 8-core in Logic Pro 10 that you can get 2 times more Alchemy plugins into a session. In Final Cut Pro 10, they say that you get 11 simultaneous 4K multicam streams. I don't know how you could possibly... 11 is a lot, but that's what they say you'll get. In Adobe Premiere, with the quad-core 13-inch in Premiere Pro, they say you'll get 60% faster 4K H.264 export, and with the 15-inch 8-core, it says you'll get 70% faster H.264 in export. What that works out to be in real time, I don't actually know. They don't put the how long it takes in here. So that sets the MacBook Pro up to really be a workhorse, a power user's device, especially the 8-core version. But the question still remains, the 6-core i9s that they put in the MacBook Pros last July, were well documented to have some problems with thermal throttling. Apple claims that in real-world use, that thermal throttling isn't as much of an issue as the benchmarks may show, but still, many tests across the internet, starting with Dave2D and going all the way through just tons and tons of videos, showed that the i9 was performing, once it started to thermal throttle, on par with the i7, so that there was really no benefit to getting the i9. Now we've got an i9 with 8 cores, and it remains to be seen if that's going to have a thermal throttling problem as well. Maybe the 9th generation Intel chips will prove to be less hot and will be more suited to this form factor of the MacBook Pro. I'm not going to hold out any hope. I mean, the MacBook Pro is a wonderful design. It looks great. It feels great. It does all kinds of things, but it is too thin to really control the thermals of higher powered chips. Maybe Apple has somehow compensated for that. Somehow we're going to get the performance that we should get out of an i9 chip, but I'm relatively skeptical. Another thing that Apple has tried to take care of, I mean, it's really difficult to say that they have taken care of this problem this early in the game. I mean, we've heard this 3 times now. We've heard 3 times that they have fixed, no, 2 other times that we have fixed the keyboard. And now they have come up with a 4th generation of the butterfly mechanism keyboard using different materials to build the keys somehow, and they claim that now they've got it fixed. It won't have the repeating keys. It won't have the dust problems where something gets under the key and it won't work anymore. 4th time's a charm, maybe? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, at this point, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm hopeful that Apple has gotten it figured out, because if they haven't, it's going to be really bad. They're trying to get people back to their laptops, make them feel more comfortable, make them feel like they're as solid as they once were. And so, fingers crossed that this new keyboard actually does what they hope it does. And I guess this also shows that Apple is at least paying attention to the laptop lines. Now, we've now had several updates in the last 4 years. I guess 4 updates in 4 years at this point. 2016, 17, 18, and now 2019. We've had updates to the MacBook Pros. Some of that might be because Apple has had problems with those previous models, and now they hope that those problems are behind them with these new chips and new keyboards, but that remains to be seen. All we know at this point is, on paper, these new MacBook Pros look pretty darn special, and it'll just take a little bit of usage and a little bit of time to find out if, in fact, they are the bee's knees or the emperor's new clothes. What do you think about these brand new MacBook Pros? I think that this probably means that we aren't going to see a 16-inch screen design of the MacBook Pro this year. They say that they're going to have a totally redesigned something or other next year, 2020. But this year, we were hoping to see a larger screen, fewer bezels, etc., etc. Doesn't look like we're going to see that. But we've got 6-core and 8-core chip, as well as upgrades to the 13-inch Touch Bar models. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say about these new MacBook Pros. Color me initially impressed with this new update, and we shall see. Anyway, thanks once again for being here. I really do appreciate it. If this was your first time here and you want to come on back again and visit me some more and hear more stuff about more tech, then you can hit the like and subscribe button and bell notify yourself so that you know when brand new Painfully Honest Tech videos come out. And if you've been here before, thank you once again for coming back. I really do appreciate it. You guys have been always, always, always fantastic. In closing, let me say that my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out!